Hello, today we're looking at this question which looks at enlargement and geometric shapes. So, it says here, the DB Bank has sponsored a school football team. The logo shown below needs to be enlarged by a ratio of 2:1 and printed on the front of the team shirt shown to the right. So, the ratio of 2:1 means it needs to be twice the size of what's been there. So this bit, this one, it's going to be twice the size of that. So we can quickly just check the size of it to see, and I can look at this bit and I can see that is 25 millimeters and this then is 50. So that is twice the size of that, so it shows it there. Use suitable graphical method to transfer the logo onto the team shirt. So we're going to look at double in size. The triangle representing the lower body and the circle representing the football have been drawn for you. So this triangle is that one and the ball is there. Estimate the gap between the geometrical shapes. So with the estimate bit means you will not lose any marks, those gaps being too big, too small. You also will not gain any marks. So we don't need to worry too much about the gaps. The first thing I'm going to do on here is try and work out where different bits go. I'll put some construction lines on this little logo. So I can see straight away that the corner of this triangle lines up with the edge of that triangle there. So I can put on a construction line straight away on here, nice and faintly. I can also see the fact the angle here follows through. Now, geometric shapes generally on these exams is looking at either 45 degrees or 30-60. So if I get my 30-60 here, I can see that follows on straight down there. So again, I can put this on here, get it on that line, and put a construction line faintly down there. So I've got those two bits straight away. Everything else doesn't really have anything directly to line up on. So I'm going to start off by doing these two shapes. I've already got two construction lines. So I'll quickly have a look at this gap. I can estimate it. So I'll look at it and it's about 3 millimeters. So I'm going to double that to 6. Because obviously it's 2:1 ratio. So put a little mark at 6. And then I'm going to do a line across. So again, a construction line, because I don't know the different bits yet. So I'm going to start off with this triangle, so to measure how big it is. So this bit here, it is 13 millimeters. So therefore, that's going to be 26. So I go on here, and at 26, I do a line across, like so. Now, I can check to see, so before it's geometric shape, I can see, I put my 45-degree set square on, that there is 45 degrees. So I can very quickly put my line on here, down to there, at 45 degrees, and I can finish the triangle off by doing over that bit heavier. So straight away there, I've got my triangle. Fantastic. So if I look at the bottom of the triangle, you can see it matches up with the bottom of the trapezium there. So what I'm going to do now is put a very faint construction line on, and now I've got two lines here which are the top and bottom here. So I'm going to measure this bit here, and this bit is 11, so times that by 2 is 22. So I can put my line on here at 22, do a line across, and now my set square 30-60. I'll put it on to the line down there. I can also do it on this one. And then finish off by putting the line across there. So very quickly, very easily, I've got my first two shapes there. Right, so the next one I'm going to look at this triangle here. I can see that the bottom here lines up with the bottom of that triangle, and we'll quick look to see if the edge lines up, which it does. So I can put those bits in. So I'll put my construction line underneath the ball. Let's go to the bottom of the ball, do a line across, and I will do a line down here. So this is about finding that point. So again, spacing is estimates, doesn't really matter too much, but it's estimated there, so it's roughly there. So I can then get my ruler again, measure how big this is. This is 13 millimeters, so therefore it is 26. So I'm going to go from here, 26, and do a line across. I can then put my line up here as a construction line, and I can check. It looks like it's 45 degrees because it matches that one, and it is. So I can now get my line here, go up there heavier, and then attach this one down here. So I've got my triangle there now. So we've got those bottom three shapes. Right, so the next shape we're going to look at is this triangle here. Again, I'm going to see if anything lines up, and you can see it lines up with the bottom of that triangle there. So my construction line I did before and continue over, and I've got this part here which matches up. So the end of that is the same distance there, yeah? Same angle, they're parallel lines. So what I need to do is work out how far along it's going to be. So what I could do is put a line down here, and I can work out that gap. Again, it's just its estimated gap, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to do that line down to there, and then measure this gap, which is 3 millimeters. So times that by 2 is 6. So I know that the point of my triangle is going to be there. So now I can do a straight line going up, faintly, and I can do my 60-degree angle along here. So I just need to work out the height. So again, just measure it. So I get my ruler. I can see this is 15 millimeters. That for it's going to be 30 millimeters high. So go on here. I go with that bit heavier. So that's 30. Bring this down. And then get the 60-degree and join those ends together. So again, very simple, got those bits added together. So that whole bottom section now is done. So we're going to look at next is this same triangle we've got here upside down. Check to see the size of it. It looks the same, and it is 25, so it's the same size triangle that, just upside down. So let's have a look and see where it is. So I get the point, and I'll put a little line across there, and I can measure to see that it is 11 millimeters from the bottom of that triangle. So 11 times 2 is 22, so that is there. So again, I put a very faint construction line on, going out from the centre bit here, out here, and now I need to measure that distance. Again, it's estimated, it doesn't particularly matter. So it says 3, so I'm going to do it 6. So 6 is there. So that there is the point of my triangle. So we said before it is 60-30, that's the 60 degrees. So I can put construction lines on, going both ways. And we need to measure the height of that triangle. So we can either go off here and double it, or we can just go off the one that's already been drawn, which is 42 high, and just take that measurement straight. So that goes to there. So then I can put my line across. So a line across there. I can then get my 30-60. Join that. And join that. So then I've got my upside down triangle there. Right, final shape we're going to look at is the square on top. So first of all, we need to look at the gap. Everything else has been 3, so I'm going to do the same to make it 6. So I'm going to get 6 millimeters here, put a little mark, and then very faintly put a construction line on. So I need to work out the position of it. So if I get a 90-degree angle, I can go up here, and I can measure that gap bit there. So on here, if I put the mark going up there, that line matches that one. If I look at the distance between that mark and the end, it's 2. So therefore, that is 4, which is there. So this square then is centimetre, so that means it's 2 centimetres or 20 millimetres wide. So I'll go there, and then put 2 faint construction lines going up with the 90 degrees. Measure 20 millimetres again, which is there, and put the top on. And then finally go over that last line a bit heavier so we can see it. So then we've got all the different bits there and everything is complete. Just make sure we go over all our lines heavier and leave construction lines there or rub them out if you want.